Hi everyone, it's Carolyn here to share more messages for your awakening and ascension journey. I'm Carolyn, I'm a distance energy healer, I'm a channel, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor. And I offer these channels from the Light Keepers as well as my own experiences for your awakening journey support. So today what I decided to do is I've resurrected a video that I did probably about 6 months ago on awakening symptoms and the ones that I've noticed the most and that have been profound for me and what I've done to handle them throughout my awakening journey. Now, these are not all inclusive by any stretch, but some of them are a little different and you may have experienced them, you may have not, but the thing is, you may experience them down the road. And I really want to present this video that I did previously because so many more people are going to be waking up in 2020, and I want to make sure that so that we really have the opportunity to understand what these symptoms are, that they could occur, they might not occur, but also give you some ideas on how to handle them. And then I'm going to add one more at the end that is really prevalent for me, or has been, and I have a feeling it's been that way for a lot of other people. So stick with me till the end. So you're going to hear a video that I have already recorded previously, and then I'm going to join you in the end, and I'm going to add the last one for you today. And as always, I so appreciate your support. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you like, share, and subscribe because you'll get a lot more content on the awakening journey. I'll see you shortly. Anyway, today I'm kind of excited about talking about this because I realized I've never really talked about the symptoms, particularly the physical symptoms of awakening. And what I thought I would do is offer to you what my symptoms have been and then what I've done to assist them and alleviate them. Because I'm a problem solver and I want to try to figure things out. So I'm always trying to figure out, what do I do about this? So I thought I'd share it with you. And then also kind of some foundational things that in general encompass all of these symptoms and can allow you to travel this journey in a more smooth way, I believe, in your body and mind. So today I'm just going to run through a list and I'm going to talk about what I do and what I've experienced. And some of them aren't pretty, so get prepared. But anyway, I'm sure all of you have felt some of these or all of them at one point or another. And by the way, this is not an exhaustive list. This is just some that I selected to share with you today. And then you can, kind of go about it your own way too. And maybe you have some things to share. By the way, if you want, just leave comments on the video after you read and share with me. I'd love to hear, and I'm sure other people would love to as well. So for all of these symptoms that I'm going to talk about, and I'll mention these again at the end, these are the things that encompass, for me, the way I can get through this more smoothly. First of all is accept it. Just know what it is. Put all fear aside. See it as kind of an amazing thing. Understand that all these funky things you have happening are part of the awakening. And if you set fear aside, you're not going to have, your symptoms aren't going to be as bad. Seriously. Like panic attacks. We can make ourselves have panic attacks, right? Even worse. But just know that, okay, this is it. Lean into it and let it go. Breathe. Very important. Breathe. Set fear aside, like I said. Care for your body. Probably one of the most important things you can do is care for your body and your mental health. Everything that you need to do is put yourself first and foremost. I know we have busy lives, but still there are things you can do, like meditate, take care of your mental health. It also assists in calming you. Exercise, get out in nature, because our body needs to move to flow those energies through us. Eat right. And you know what that means. I don't need to go through that over and over again. Drink plenty of water. There's all these kinds of things that are foundational for me, and I think for many people, moving forward in the awakening to make it smoother. So all of that goes with talking about these symptoms I'm going to discuss. The first one is vertigo. I just had this happen 2 weeks ago, and I also had it happen one time before about 2 years ago, but never before in my life had I had it. And check this out. Both of them were on bike trips. Oh my gosh. And both bike trips were not that easy. They were on dirt mountain bike paths. And I'm like, oh, seriously, this is going to happen where I actually had, I stopped and I looked up into a vast area of pine trees. And oh my gosh, the pine trees just moving straight up into the skies. And I thought, wow, this is cool. This is really neat. And then I went, oh no, it's not, because I know what this is. But then I was kind of amused with it, and it didn't last long. Now, the second time that I've had this, which was just 2 weeks ago, Again, I'm on a bike trip. Go figure. I don't know why that is. But anyway, so I stop. Didn't notice anything at that point. But then as I did, I was focused out on the stream and the trees. And all of a sudden, everything was moving away from me. I mean, everything was moving that way. And I thought, oh, here we go again. I thought, not a good time on a bike trip. But the point is what I realized, because I came home and the next few hours I felt different. Things started to shift in like the gifts that I have. And I'm really good at putting patterns together. Excuse me. Pieces of things together to understand the larger story. And so what I knew had happened is I got upgrades at those times. And this, I think, Vertigo is a time when, at least for me, and I'll bet you guys are going to know this too, you're getting shifts and changes coming through you, okay? At the same time, you might get some buzzing frequencies in your ears, some shift changes in your hearing. A lot of people call it tinnitus, but I'm here to tell you it's the shift and changes in the frequencies. Sometimes we're getting different upgrades. We're getting changes to our body. So sometimes that can come with vertigo. But in general, most of us are also going to feel or have those ringing in the ears most of the time through the awakening. Anyway, that wasn't one I was going to talk about, but it kind of goes with vertigo, at least for me. So what I've done for vertigo is I've just basically, what I realized this last time is I thought, okay, I got to get on my bike again. How's that going to work out? Well, when I just go about my business and I don't stand there and just stare at something, I'm fine. And so what I chose to do was just say, okay, that's nice. That was fun. I'm done. And I got back on my bike. I mean, I literally kind of just made it go away. So I don't know if that's at all helpful, but the point is I get upgrades when I get vertigo, and mine is not severe vertigo. It's like mediocre, and it doesn't last terribly long. And I actually just say, okay, that's great. Now I got to get on my bike and go. And I set all fear aside. I just kind of see it as kind of an adventure, like, oh, wow, this is another symptom or sign. And that's kind of how I've been throughout this whole journey. Okay, so that was vertigo. And now this one, this is so interesting. Some of you may have noticed this or not, but I'm just going to mention it. Body hair, okay? Like shaving legs for women, all of a sudden I didn't have to shave my legs anymore. And then boom, I had to again. And it's just like a switch went on and off. It's like your body is shifting and you're having those things happen. I know people do have hair loss too, I've heard, but that's been something that I just wanted to mention. It hasn't been anything severe for me at all, but I have noticed the whole idea of having to shave your legs is kind of non-existent, and then it happens again. So you may see that, and that may seem really strange to you. But again, that can be part of symptoms. Sleeplessness is horrible, right? I mean, that's not any fun. So here's some things I do. And I sleep really well, generally. And I know that something's up when I'm not sleeping well. So what I do is I call in my angels and my guides, and I say, I'll be laying there in bed and I'll go, okay, guys, I need to be able to get to sleep. And so what I've been told by them is, all right, what we want you to focus on, and this is why I'm lying down on my pillow, not able to sleep, focus on a blank space in your mind, just nothing. Focus on seeing just a white canvas. And then for whatever reason that works for me, it's the strangest thing. And then they just kind of take me into sleep. And, it's just, they ask you to look at a blank white canvas. That's what they did for me. And so I close my eyes and I do that. And I drift off to sleep. Now, you can consider any number of ways, but that may just assist you as well. I know it kind of, for those of you that may not understand that part of calling in your angels and guides, it might sound a little loony, but I'm telling you, it works, because I'm a big proponent of forming a relationship with your angels and guides. Okay? They can help you with a lot of things. Additionally, things like muscle cramps. All right? Those are horrible. I have them in spades, and they're back again. They went away, and now they're back. And, oh gosh, especially at night, I will wake up in the middle of the night and I'll just move my leg and I'll be in full-blown cramp mode, and it's not fun. Now, here's another thing I do, and it has worked almost, well, I don't want to say almost, every single time. I will call out to my angels and guides and I'll just say, angels, help me, please remove this pain in my leg now, please. And then I thank them, and I'm not kidding you. Almost instantaneously, the cramps are gone. Okay, I have a really strong relationship with my angels and guides and my whole support team of my spirit team. And they're right there, and things shift and change fast. I just have to remember to ask, right? Because we tend to not do that, right? But anyway, the other part about muscle cramps is I noticed also for me drinking enough water during the day. I exercise pretty heavily, but even when I don't, I make sure I drink a lot of water because energies are moving through us regularly. We want to make sure to flush those out and to be able to bring enough water into your body. Stretching is important. Now, what I'm going to tell you is some of you may have experienced this. And remember, these come in stages. Like I didn't have leg cramps or any kind of cramps for the first 2 years. And then boom, it started. So if you don't have them now, just keep these in mind because you might down the road because they're all part of this process. But with the cramps, what I suggest doing is so that you don't get them at night, don't go bolting out of bed. Just slowly move your toes, move your legs as you're just starting to get going. And don't make any quick jerky moves because that sends me into spasms. All right. So I really have learned to move slowly as I'm starting to get up. Okay. And then stretching is important. All right. Regular stretching, but do it slowly because you can turn yourself into having cramps. I don't have these during the daytime. Mine are primarily at night. Let's see. Let's go to, okay, extreme fatigue. Again, I have this during moon events typically, and I'm not great at keeping track of all that as far as the events. I don't know whether it's a new moon or full moon, but anyway, you might tie yours to some kind of pattern, celestial pattern. So the extreme fatigue for me, I'm never tired. I have a lot of energy. I just not, and I get a decent amount of sleep. I live real healthfully, so there's no reason for me to have any fatigue. Oh my gosh. When I get it, it's a nightmare. So again, what I do is I ask for relief. And I basically say, okay, guys, and this is how I talk. Okay, guys, I can't have this because I got a lot going on, blah, 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 blah. And I just need this fatigue to leave. And I'm not kidding you. What will happen is you will eventually feel less fatigue because they're here to assist. At least that's what works for me. The other part is this goes back to drink water, take care of your body, because all of these symptoms are going to feel much more severe if you're not being healthful for yourself, taking the time you need for yourself, caring for yourself first and foremost. This is critical, and it is also one of the biggest things people have to turn around in the awakening so that they don't have all these crazy symptoms that can be so severe, all right? Let's see. Symbols and numbers really aren't like a symptom, but I'm just going to throw, like a physical or mental symptom. But people wonder about them because you can start seeing symbols and you certainly see repeat numbers. Okay, a lot of people get geometric symbols flying in their face or just seeing them in places. I've never had that. I think that's fascinating, but I get the numbers. So what I suggest for you all, and I did this for a long time, is keep a journal and write them down. And then you'll see patterns in your day. Like what you can do is go back over the course of a week. I always kind of like to see what the differences are in the numbers because they do come and go and they come in waves. And then you can kind of get a sense of what they're trying to tell you. So I keep a journal, I write that down, and then I go back over the week and I go, okay, yeah, what's this trying to tell me? Memory loss. Oh Lord, I tell you about that one. That is so difficult. So I used to be able to keep everything in my head. Oh, now I have to make lists, and worse yet, not just make the list, but when I have an idea or a flash, or sometimes they'll, like my angels will send me a poem in the strangest places, like in the shower, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I can't write this down now. Well, I have to literally write things down immediately when I think of them, or they're gone. They're just gone like a blaze of lightning. So start making lists. Start knowing it's natural, okay? You're not losing your mind, most likely. You're not, I would say in the awakening, this is a common issue. We have a tendency to, and it all to me has to do with time and space reality and what is only really the now moment. And I'm not going to get into all of that, but just know that, and that ties really to the next one, which is time issues, where can tie to the memory loss piece, at least for me, okay? So the time issues, in January and February, I thought January and February would never end. It felt like it had lasted a year and a half. Now, of course, I'm in a Midwestern winter too, so that contributes, but that wasn't it. It was something very different. And then suddenly, here we are almost in June, And I'm like, where did the last 2 months go? Not to mention the individual days, because I literally will blink my eye and it's 10 in the morning to start. And then the next thing I know, I blink my eye and it's 4 in the afternoon. I'm like, I don't even know what I did that day. Know that that's natural, okay? Time issues. What I would suggest you do for that, and I really believe this helps, is, again, meditation is at one of the core foundations of all of these symptoms that can assist you. Doesn't mean they're going to go away, but they're going to be lesser, I have found. Meditation helps. It really puts that past future thing that we do to ourselves in humankind and really helps you focus on the now so that more feels comfortable to you in the now. It doesn't mean you're not going to feel time fly by, but there is something about that focus and not having all the concerns of the past and future. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to still plan or think about the past, but you're going to, believe me, be more honed in on what is happening right in front of you. And that certainly helps when it comes to the time issues. Okay, skin rashes. And I have a solution to this one, at least for myself. And you guys, this is not a prescription. Again, don't just go out and do this. You have to figure out what is right for you. I'm just telling you what works for me. And maybe it's not recommended. I have no idea, but it works. And I'm an experimenter. I like to try things. So there you go. Skin rashes. I would start getting, never had canker sores before. Well, that's not true. Very few, I would say. Those started in spades inside my mouth. And then I started realizing, oh my God, I look like I'm getting shingles. Tiny spots above my eyebrow, around my lips. Never had a cold sore ever, ever, ever in my life. And I thought, oh no, here we go. Well, again, I do this thing of, okay, guys, I can't have this. I need your help, please. Thank you very much. Can you help make this go away? But then I have my own remedy for this. What I have thieves oil, and I tend to like thieves from whatever, Young Living in my case. But and you're probably going to think I'm nuts, those of you who understand essential oils, but I don't. I just take a little dab and I put it on my actual cold sore or whatever it is, the little eczema thingy. I'm not saying go do it yourself, but I'm saying that's what works for me. So you got to find your own thing. Like another thing, rubbing alcohol might work, but that doesn't work for me. So anyway, the thing is, you are going to have those skin rashes. You're going to have these weird little popping out things that you cannot explain. Again, going back to keep taking care of yourself. Get enough rest. Drink enough water. Eat properly. All these things will assist you in having lesser symptoms of this nature, all right? Rather than something full blown, okay? So I have actually gotten rid of my skin rashes with thieves. Okay, go figure. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but I will tell you it's worked for me. All right. Okay, this one's not pleasant, but I think a lot of us have been there. We have like bowel changes, all right? And sometimes it's a big old flushing out for people. And so what I've understood is that, and I've talked about this with my team, is this is a clearing. And sometimes what you'll find is these clearings come after a full moon because you're releasing. I mean, I am not so connected into the celestial events. I would like to be, but for some reason I'm just not. And yet at the same time, I know these clearings can happen after a full moon. So again, you might want to keep track of that, but know this is an awakening symptom. And when you have a lot of these all together, it can be kind of scary. You're thinking, what's happening to me? Particularly if you do not understand that these can be part of awakening symptoms. And particularly if you've typically been very healthy, all right? So again, bowel changes, those kinds of things. And again, it's clearing, it's releasing. And it's been made very evident to me that that is one of the ways that our body helps adjust and accommodate to new energies. Other than that, I think that's what I want to cover right now. Oh, one more thing. Odd, sharp pains. Okay, this is like knives in your back. Feels like just like your arm's going to fall off. This is what's happened to me. Arm's going to fall off my whole left side, becomes tingly or numb. I had a whole week and a half of my right scapula and shoulder and neck. I could hardly move it. Felt like a pinched nerve, but it was my whole right side. So I've had some very interesting physical situations, and this could be a video in itself, but it, for me, all had to do with past lives that I can very much identify down to the specifics. Not that you're all going to be able to do that, but why I'm telling you about this is if you feel tremendously strange physical situations that come out of nowhere and kind of go away quickly too. May not last, but then they might. Your past lives may be clearing through you and you don't understand that. So I'm just here to tell you, without going into a ton of detail and delving into past lives, this can happen to you. It's been made very evident to me. We clear past lives along with the things we're dealing with in this life. And that's why it's been said that, we're applauded for coming in now and living this life for what we are going through. All the things we're clearing, all the things we're doing, all the light worker work. So just know that these are things that are going to come and go throughout your awakening journey. And I'm going to go over real quickly again the foundational things. And again, this is not all inclusive, but foundational things you can do to assist yourself along the journey. Chill out. Meditate, okay, with that. Accept this. This is part of it. Don't think you have some horrific physical problem. And yes, if you go to the doctor, oftentimes, and sometimes maybe you do need to, but they're often not going to have a place to put this and understand it from. But just be accepting of it. And even if you do go to the doctor, just chill out. Just breathe, because we make things so much worse if we panic and bring in fear. All right? You don't need to put fear into the recipe. All right? Care for your body. It's huge in this. In the awakening, this is the thing that will cause you either to have more extreme symptoms or lesser. I would take that to the bank based on what I've been through. Exercise, meditation. When I talk about exercise, I'm talking about get out in nature, walk. You don't have to go, play 2 hours of strenuous singles tennis, etc., and sweat like crazy. But if you do, that's fine too. Meditate, care for your body, eat properly, greens and fruits, not crummy food, and we all know what crummy food is, even if we don't want to admit it. And on occasion, we're going to do that, but in general, all right? So all the things that we know that we're supposed to do for ourselves, take care of yourself first and foremost, get enough sleep, get enough rest. All of this is going to help these symptoms, okay? So I wanted to share that with you today, and some of the things that I do. I could talk long and hard about this and many other symptoms as well. And so with that, I hope this has helped you in some way. Even if you're not experiencing these symptoms now, you may in the future, because again, as I say, they come and they go, and then new ones show up. So there you go. Okay, now I want to add one more that is kind of obvious for most of us, or for a lot of us, and I think also mostly for women. Weight gain. Oh my gosh, weight gain. So 3 years ago, no, it's 4 years ago, sorry, I had my dark night of the soul. And I had been at my thinnest weight before, not that that matters, but I'd been at my thinnest weight, okay? And I maintained that for a number of years. And that's just kind of how I was, right? Oh no, the minute I went through the awakening journey, I will never forget this. All of a sudden, I remember ravenous eating. I couldn't stop. That was not me at all. Well, I didn't understand the awakening journey, so I didn't understand that putting on weight is a part of the process to protect our body. And that's because our body is shifting and changing. There's good reason for that. I quickly saw my weight just balloon over the next, I would say it'd be about a year and a half, 30 pounds. So here I am, very body conscious in the sense I've always been very physically fit. This has just been important to me. And I gained 30 pounds and I could not stop thinking about it. And the thing that I would say to you is, and I was told over and over again by my spirit team that I'm highly connected to, oh, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it. And so, of course, what would I do? I'd ask, well, when? And they're not great with time, okay, because they don't operate in time. I have found that I just don't ask about time anymore. But needless to say, I have had the wildest, this should be a video in itself, the story of how all of a sudden the weight just flew off of me. And that was just this October, starting early October. I won't go through the detail, but I have since lost almost 25 pounds of the 30. I'm almost back to where I was. I have a whole closet full of clothes that I fit back into. I never thought this would happen to me. I thought, and always through my life, I've kind of, I don't want to say struggled with my weight. I've always been athletic, but I would go up and down, okay? And so consequently for me to, sit there with a whole closet full of clothes that I can't wear was really disturbing to me. So basically, I have lost that weight. You will start to lose that weight when it's appropriate for you. Okay. It may take forever. Don't try. Don't try hard. I don't even want you to try. I want you to eat what you want to eat, obviously within reason, but also to take a look at healthy habits and things that you can do differently. You will be driven to eat things that maybe you have never eaten. You will be driven to not eat things that you used to eat. You will very likely gain weight and you won't understand why. Just don't let yourself get obsessed, because I was, and it brought me down into a kind of all of the awakening symptoms and things. That's the one that's brought me down to what I would call a low vibration on occasion, because here I am living with this body that I didn't understand anymore. But then I reconnected with it, and I've had a video on this before about reconnecting with your body and seeing it as a consciousness. This is part of the weight loss journey for me. However, that's a whole nother conversation. But my point is you will gain weight very likely. Do not get hung up about it. Don't freak out about it. Okay? It's part of the journey. And yes, I firmly believe if I can lose that weight, because it started to kind of magically happen and I was led to the right things to do, you will lose it too. But it'll come when it's supposed to come for you. So that's the last one that I wanted to share with you today. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. And as I always do, I'll leave you with my services, purplerainhealing.com, where I work with you on distance energy healing and channeled messages. Channeled messages as a single service, either on the phone with you where I record this for you, or you can do it through getting a document of all this information. And then lastly, my spiritual awakening mentoring, which helps launch you forward in your awakening journey. So you have someone to talk to who also channels information for you on your journey to lead you forward. So with that, I would absolutely love to work with all of you. Check out purplerainhealing.com for more information. And as always, thank you so much for being here. I so enjoy your comments, and I look forward to hearing from you again. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.